We are coming to you from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Michael Brantley, Ryan Rayburn, and Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first of this three-game set and the first of this 11-game, 10-day road trip. We'll have 3 here, 4 in Detroit, finish it off with 4 in New York. So the Sox are coming here, taking on a club who are still in the wild card hunt, but last night did not make up any ground.
They had an opportunity against Kansas City, but unfortunately they didn't get the job done. And right now they're fighting to remain relevant in the wild card race. They are 4 games back. As you can see, the Angels ahead of them, the Twins ahead of them, and then the Astros, who got killed by Texas. They've fallen out of first place. They're in the wild card. New York Yankees look like they have things pretty much their own way. Chris Sale, 2 years ago, probably lost the ERA title because of these Cleveland Indians. This year, if he loses a Cy Young Award, it'll be because of the Minnesota Twins. And last time was no exception as they just battered him around. So he's pretty happy he doesn't have to see the Twins anymore. He's going to face these Indians. Things have gotten a whole lot better for him lately. And Chris Sale goes to the mound, and hopefully tonight he'll have his best.
Well, he knows who to look out for.
There's 3 guys you really have to look out for as far as these Indians are concerned. And the first one is a very young shortstop, Francisco Lindor. He's a switch hitter since the All-Star break, hitting .357 with 80 hits. That's tied for the most in the major leagues. And this youngster is a tremendous defender, and I think everybody is surprised at how well he's done offensively. Then it's Carlos Santana, who's hitting .333 lifetime against Chris Sale. He's 11 for 33 with 5 driven in. He's another switch hitter. He hits better with more power from the left side, but he'll face Sale from the right side. Hasn't had much difficulty with him. But the man you worry about, Ryan Rayburn, who's only had 2 at-bats since he saw Chris Sale the last time. Hitting .303 against him lifetime with 4 home runs, 7 driven in. This is a guy who's driven in more runs against the White Sox than any 3 teams combined. That's the guy you worry about tonight, and that's the guy Chris Sale is worried about.
And they've got to worry about our Jose Abreu, who is looking to take one step closer to joining some very, very elite company by hitting the 30 home run and 100 RBI mark for the 2nd year in a row. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Progressive Field. It's a beautiful night in Cleveland. Wind, not much of a factor tonight. And the Indians taking the field. Last time we were in Cleveland, it was a very successful 4-game series. The Sox swept it. As you can see, the batting average, well, almost 100 points, over 100 points higher. The runs, they crushed them. The hits, same thing. Home runs, the Indians didn't hit any. Our Sox hit 7, and the ERA was terrific. So at that point, if you remember, all things beautiful, and it looked like, along with those wins in Boston, that the Sox were going to take off. As we all know, it didn't work out that way, but the Indians are still in the race, and it's up to the Sox to play spoilers. So let's take a look at how Robin is going to line up his ball club tonight. Adam Eaton leading it off, and Adam on a 6-game hitting streak has been hitting close to 400. Then it's Alexei Ramirez, Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera, the designated hitter, Trace Thompson back in the lineup, and it's nice to see him with Avisail Garcia, Mike Olt, Carlos Sanchez, and Tyler Flowers rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind very big Cody Anderson, Michael Brantley, Abraham Almonte, and the villain Ryan Rayburn in right field. Then it's Mike Aviles, Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana in the infield with Roberto Perez behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is 6'5" Cody Allen. On for his 13th start, he's 4-3, his ERA 3.68. And he's one of those guys that has come through the system. Looks like he's going to play a big part in their rotation for next year. The umpires for the game tonight: Mike Everett behind the plate. Tim Welke, the crew chief, is at first. Todd Tichenor is at second, and Chris Siegel is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, and that means that we're ready to play baseball. The Indians come in 4 games back, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. First of this 3-game set, first of this 11-game, 10-day road trip. And before we show you our picks to click you at home, select yours as Adam Eaton gets set to lead it off. And he takes ball 1.
For all practical purposes, Anderson is a 2-pitch pitcher. He's going to throw a fastball and a straight change. He occasionally will spin one, but it's inconsequential.
Well, he did something I have not seen anybody top, so to speak, warming up, doing some long toss. I mean, he was long tossing.
There's another guy that does that, Trevor Bauer, who's in the bullpen now. He throws it from one end to the other.
Well, he was about maybe 15 to 20 yards off that left field line out there, and he was throwing it all the way to the key bank sign to where the guy was standing.
I don't know if he learned it from Bauer, but that's what Bauer does, and I never could really see the sense of that, but apparently a couple of pitchers at least like it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. White Sox back years past when they had all those great staffs, there's ball 4. They did some severe running and some severe long tossing. Ray Barrios was the pitching coach, and he ran those poor guys to death. Meanwhile, they could go 9.
I love pitchers running. I think that the stronger your legs are, the better off you're going to be.
It's almost common sense, isn't it?
It seems like it.
So here's Alexei at 252, 10 homers, 57 driven in. Outfield straight up, spread out, just a little bit, about equidistant. Yeah, my former partner and Hall of Fame pitcher Don Drysdale with the Dodgers. He used to go foul line to foul line with the long tossing.
And I think it just makes sense because the muscles in your legs are the biggest muscles in your body, and because of that, you might as well make them as strong as possible. I always felt if the legs could take you 6, your arm could take you the final 3.
That's fouled away. And here at Progressive Field, 325 down the lines, 375 in right center, 400 straightaway center, 370 in left center.
This is normally a very lively ballpark, and with the moderate temperatures before the cold front moves in, you would think the ball would be jumping tonight.
Well, it certainly is a terrific park for left-handed hitters. Low fence out there.
Short porch and a low fence.
Well, actually high in left field, Brantley. 1 out. And right now, let's check out our picks to click tonight. Mangio, Mike Leary, Dave Ross, and the crew. They went with Alexei. Steve's going with Trace Thompson. And our grandson, Alexander Hawthorne. His 9th birthday today. Snowman and I are going to go with Carlos Sanchez. Happy birthday, honey. Here's Abreu. Hitting at .297, 29 homers, 93 driven in. Alexei just missed that one, by the way. There's first pitch strike.
Well, it certainly helps. And what happened, and the reason why Perez is going out there, is he flipped his thumb on the sign. That means throw to first base. It used to mean you might want to throw this one under the guy's chin. Those days are by the boards, but when you flip your thumb up, it means go to first base, and Anderson threw home. Perez wasn't expecting it. He caught it in the strike zone. But before there's any problems, Perez wants to go out there and get it straightened out.
Yeah, that was the old knock 'em down sign.
Yes, it was. You saw it a lot, too.
That pitch at 90.
He doesn't have an overwhelming fastball. He'll get it up there somewhere between 92 and 94 when he reaches back to get it all. But the good straight change has really made him a good pitcher. What Mickey Callaway's got to do with him is give him a third pitch that he has some confidence and he can throw it to get hitters off a fastball straight change.
Well, if you're going to have 2 pitches only, a fastball and a good change, 2 pitches to have.
That's it. Those are the good ones. And there you see the last 2 starts. Cody Anderson has been terrific. Earlier in the season, he was on the disabled list with what they talked about being an oblique or a side issue. But it added a couple different things. Number one, he's come off and thrown very well. And number two, it's kept his innings down.
One and two. And this is the 17th meeting of the year between these two clubs. The first 16, we've won 9 of them. We have played 6 games here, and of the 6 games, we have won 5 of them. There he goes. He got a Lance Johnson jump. Lindor throws him out. 2 down.
It's unfortunate he couldn't have gotten this a little earlier where Jose didn't have to protect, because then he could have taken it. With 2 strikes you can't. He's got it stolen easy, but now he has to look for the contact, which he sees. And it's a ground out. And it's 2 outs.
There's Melky. Cabrera at 276, 10 homers, 71 driven in.
Just had a look at Francisco Lindor making a late run for Rookie of the Year. Carlos Correa is going to win it. Lindor, however, if he came up a little earlier, he would have given him quite a tussle. He's a special player.
That had a part of the inside corner. Melky had a big series against Oakland. Hitting shots all over the ballpark. And there's that changeup. He's got the same motion, so I can see where.
It's pretty deceptive.
Yeah, it is.
Because he's got the same release point, which is straight over the top, and the same arm velocity as he has on his fastball, only it's 85 instead of 92 to 94.
Well, he's doing something right. Detroit's a pretty good offensive team, and he just completely shut them down.
He did indeed.
Another changeup. Uh-oh. We got a problem.
Aviles and Brantley. Brantley with 44 doubles this year. Then Rayburn, Santana, and Johnson in the middle. Almonte, Perez, and Ramirez rounded out the defense. And now they'll line up behind Chris Sale left to right. Thompson, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield with Olt, Ramirez, Sanchez, and Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale on for his 29th start. He's 12-9 this year. His ERA right around 3.5. 250 strikeouts in 187 2/3 innings.
So here is Lindor at 315, 9 homers, 41 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. 21 years old. He has faced Chris 7 times, has a couple of hits. Out in front of the plate. That'll be a base hit.
Well, that's exactly what speed will do for you. Chris knew that he had to get to the ball quickly, and Lindor, who's a better hitter from the right side but with more power from the left, starts it off in pretty good shape. This is a play that Chris has made many times. Probably should have made this but didn't.
Well, you framed it perfectly. That's what speed does. It intimidates you, it scares you, makes you do things you ordinarily wouldn't do. Plus he's 8 for 10 in stolen bases.
Well, if he gets a little excited at first base, he's probably going to get picked off. But the youngster has played pretty smart baseball since he's been called up.
Well, he came from a great program.
Yeah, he did.
Mount Verde, just outside of Orlando, is one of the best baseball programs in the world, not just the United States.
And here's a guy who wears out right and right center field and usually wears out Sox pitching. Not quite Ryan Rayburn-ish, but it's pretty good, Mike Aviles.
He's 4 for 27 against Chris with a home run.
And unfortunately, that home run came as one of 3 solo home runs that beat Chris 3-2. Rayburn had 2 of them. Aviles had 1 of them the last time Chris saw him at U.S. Cellular Field. They're their career numbers against our Sox, and they're pretty good, especially for a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of power.
Okay, take your time, boys. Rack them up. That's 143rd double play we've turned this year.
This is the way to do it. long underhand shovel pass. And right there, no chance at all for Aviles to beat it out.
Well, Sanchez and Alexei have turned some double plays this year that were just magnificent. And here is Brantley. Takes that fastball strike. That one at 95. Michael at 313, 15 homers, 81 knocked in. And you saw the graphic earlier. 44 doubles, which leads the major leagues. He hadn't had a whole bunch of success against Chris. 4 for 29. The 4 hits, all of them stayed in the park.
And when Chris saw the Indians at U.S. Cellular Field, Michael Brantley got the day off, which was probably a good plan.
No. Terry Francona, 1 game under 500 is 72 and 73. And for the last 10 years, that man has been over 500. He's the only manager in Major Leagues who can say that. That's going to be okay. Fair ball. And that'll do it. So the base hit, the double play, the ground out after 1 no score.
Table in South Benton, Iowa. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Trace Thompson, Avi Garcia, Mike Holt here at the top of the 2nd inning. That man right there this year and last year has seen a lot of funny things happen.
Yes. This has been a most unusual year.
Especially this year. Wow. Trace takes ball 1. It's the first time any of our guys have seen Cody Anderson. He's out of Fallon, Nevada. That ball hit into right field. Rayburn giving chase, and he can't get there. And it bounces into the stands for a ground rule double. So Steve's picked a click. Picks up his 6-2 bagger.
What's nice to see is that he took that ball away, and he hit it away. This is low and away. This is pretty good pitcher's pitch at 93. And Trace missed a few games with that hyperextended elbow. Rayburn can't make the catch.
Rayburn took a hitter.
Yeah. And as an outfielder, Ryan can really hit our Sox.
So here's Avi. Avi's been struggling a little bit lately. Couldn't lay off that high fastball. That pitch way inside. 5-1 final. Cubs beat the Cardinals 8-3 today. That's softly hit into center field. And that's out number 1. So he couldn't get him over. And here's Mike Olds.
Third baseman, number 24, Mike Olds.
Other games, we'll see Kansas City at Detroit. That game delayed at the top of the first inning. Verlander on the bump for the Tigers. Angels will be taking on the Twins at Target Field. Miami at Nationals Park in D.C.
This is such a great time of year because there's a lot of teams with now 2 wild cards, a lot of teams still in the race. Texas is really stepping on the gas pedal because they took Houston apart in that head-to-head series.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I'm not a betting man because you could have had everything that I have if you'd have told me that September games were going to be meaningless for our ball club coming out of spring training.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, sir. You could have had a house, a car, not my Greek wife.
No. You don't want to bet your wife.
No,
That's not a good policy.
No. I love this time of year when the games are so meaningful.
Here's what it looks like in the West. The Rangers now have a 2.5 game lead, 3 in the loss column. The Angels hanging there at 5, but they're starting to drift. And of course the Mariners and the Athletics vying for draft choices.
3-1 to count. You could even have my golf clubs. I would have thrown those in. But not to be.
Well, when you're on this side of it, it's not great, but that's one of the beautiful things about the game is that it's not played on paper. And it doesn't matter what things look like. The only thing that matters is you have to show the opponents that you are a good enough team to get to the playoffs because they're not going to give you anything.
That's why you got to play them.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it? Minnesota and Houston were going to be up there fighting for postseason, and we're not.
Yep.
At the bottom of the zone, so a full count. That's why this baseball app is so good. You can watch any game you want to watch, and if you want to go back and watch a couple of them, you can do that as well.
And find out news-wise around baseball, individual teams. You can find anything you want about any team at any time. Anderson was a 14th round draft pick by these Indians in 2011. The 428th player chosen overall. And he certainly has blossomed.
Got him. Had a piece of the zone. So 2 out. And then you get that out in the Bleacher Report. Gives you almost any information you want.
We'll take another look at it. Menard's pitch track will show you that it did have a part of the zone. What I like about Bleacher Report is it gives you all the rumors,
everything,
all the trades, all
everything.
The news, breaking and otherwise.
Oh, you framed that wrong. It gives you all the gossip.
All the gossip. It gives you some of that too. And these days there's a whole lot of it.
Better believe it. Starts him off with a changeup. This young man's had a good season. And it's going to get better and better and better. His defense has just been terrific.
Base hit to left. There's going to be a close play at the plate as Brantley can throw, and he's accurate.
Doubles him up on that changeup. This is the first time this year we've seen a guy who is a two-pitch pitcher, fastball change pitcher.
Well, he'll try occasionally to spin one, but he's a lot like their Zach McAllister. McAllister most of the time is a one-pitch pitcher, but that's why he had to move from the starting rotation to the bullpen. But Anderson, at least, is still in the rotation. I got to believe that as good a coach as Mickey Callaway is, he's going to be able to teach Anderson some sort of breaking ball, either a slider with depth or a curveball. Mickey hasn't really been able to teach McAllister, and I talked to him about it, and he said McAllister's arm motion dictates he's not going to be able to throw a curveball, and they've tried slider with him, but so far nothing's really worked.
That's off the glove, and that's going to be a base hit. So Tyson will pull up at third. Runners at the corners, 2 now. And Alexander Hawthorne's picked. Are they going to give him an error? Wow. Ball was hit pretty hard.
Inside out swing. Aviles right there, and the ball takes one hop.
Well, he certainly could have made the play, but meanwhile, we still have a man on first and third. And here's Tyler. Ball's hit too hard for an error. That ball's hit hard. I tell you, these guys at second and short have 2 young, a 22-year-old and a 21-year-old, who have a ton of talent, and that's Lindor and Ramirez.
We're third as the White Sox host the Detroit Tigers at 6:10. First 10,000 fans will receive an exclusive stretch sale action figure. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com. It's a nice action figure, and there is the live action figure. And he appears at times to be a stretch sale because the left-hand hitters, that left arm looks like it's coming from second base most of the time.
So here he is, Ryan Rayburn. 10 for 33 against Chris. 4 home runs. And against us, just some really almost incredible numbers.
Chris faced them back on September 7th. Ryan Rayburn's had 2 at-bats, a total of 2 at-bats since September 7th. But Chris Sale goes to the mound. They dust Ryan off and put him in the lineup.
That ball hit hard. Meanwhile, grab some bench. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring up one of 4 switch hitters in this lineup, Carlos Santana. Carlos, the first baseman, hitting at .237, 15 homers and 68 knocked in.
That was a statue of Bob Feller, the Hall of Famer, the Indian great.
He was one of the all-time greats. And he still is the only guy to ever pitch a no-hitter on opening day.
He is.
I talked to Hall of Fame second baseman for the Red Sox, Bobby Doerr, about Feller. And Feller was a hard thrower. In fact, they got him in a gun way back in when they did not have. They had to concoct a speed device to time him, and they got him right at 100 miles an hour way back. But Bobby Doerr said that by far was not his best pitch.
Curveball was.
His curveball was his best pitch.
And that big high leg kick, I never saw it, but I saw some video of it.
He gone.
He couldn't see the ball.
First strikeout for Chris. So here's Chris Johnson, picked up from Atlanta. Michael Bourne and Nick Swisher deal.
Clayton Kershaw leads the major leagues with 264 strikeouts, and Chris 251. On pace to strike out 279. Of course, on pace is something that is nice to talk about. There really is no pace because Chris is capable of getting 15 a night.
One and two. He gone. Change up. And we will go to the third. Still no score. Starting at 10 p.m. we take a look at the weekend's biggest college matchups on Sportsnet Central. Then at 10:30 go inside the NFL on Playbook with Jim Miller, followed by High School Lights at 11. It's Friday night kickoff starting at 10 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Top of the order, Adam Eaton takes first pitch strike. Adam walked, leading off the ball game.
Avila's in close at third, trying to take the bunt away, but Santana is back at first.
Here's a little tidbit with Chicago being the greatest golf city in the world. Chicagoans love their golf better than any place. Tiger Woods has just undergone his second back surgery. That's popped up, and that's going to be on top of their dugout.
Well, so many athletes and so many great ones, once they start down that path with back problems, they never can come close to what they were. I mean, look at Joe Creedy. Look at the promise on his career, how good he could have been, but for back problems that plagued him the rest of his career.
One-two pitch, and that's in the hole. So the leadoff man aboard once again. So here's Alexei. He just missed one. High fly ball into left field. 32nd of an inch. And it would have been a 2-0 ball game. He had a good batting practice tonight. I love to watch batting practice.
Is there any rhyme or reason why a guy will have a good batting practice and what he takes into a game? I mean,
you got to know the guy. Some guys you don't want to see hitting the ball out of the ballpark in BP because they're going to try to do it in the game and invariably have a tough evening. It all depends on the individual. I think you see as guys get older, as the good hitters, as they get older, they try less and less to hit the ball out of the ballpark in BP. One of the great drills you can do in BP for you youngsters out there in high school and college is when you're taking BP, don't swing the bat unless you know what you want to try to do with that particular swing. If you want to hit it to right field, before the pitch is thrown, say, I'm going to hit this ball in the right field. And if it's a pitch you can't go there, take it. And if you're a right-handed hitter, if you want to pull a couple, pull a couple.
I would think on this pitch, which is normally a good pitch to run because you don't see pitch outs at 2-1 very often. If Adam thinks he's got a shot, he's going to be going. And that's the throw to first base. Let's see if Anderson recognizes it this time.
Well, it's not going to be a curveball.
And you know what? Perez is looking over in the dugout. As you look at the last 16 games for Ramirez, hitting .369 with 16 runs scored, 9 driven in, 9 multi-hit games, 9 walks, which is the 9 walks is somewhat amazing.
There's a strike. Yeah, Perez looked like he was a little frustrated.
He gave him the throw to first base. Then he looked in the dugout and he shook his head like he can't see. He can't see what I'm giving him. So maybe they will find out some way to paint his thumb a different color.
Full count. He does not go. And there's ball 4. So a good at bat for Alexei. Second walk issued by Cody Anderson.
Now at the plate for Chicago, number 79, Jose Abreu.
Perez is going out there, and as you see, because of the proliferation of lip readers around baseball, and they're just everywhere, everybody has their glove up over their mouth so that nobody can read exactly what they're saying to one another.
Well, you could give them all some Altoids.
Might work too.
So here's Jose. He grounded out to Lindor. Outfield slightly to the right. A lot of room between Brantley and that left field line. Change up.
Anderson has given up 7 home runs in 73 innings, which isn't a high total for a guy with just 2 pitches. Or if you eliminate one of them and you would eliminate the straight change and just sit back and look for a fastball, you would doubt that he would throw you 3 straight changes. So there's 2 straight.
There's 2 in a row.
With runners in scoring position, Jose has been a master. 345. That is the trademark of a terrific run producer.
Three in a row.
He did throw him 3 in a row, and he got him. Each one a little bit better than the last. That one he turned over, and some very solid late movement on it as it just sunk out of the hitting area.
There's Melky. He struck out his first trip. That ball hit hard, but Almonte got a good jump, gets back there, turns around, and the ball cradles right into his glove.
White Sox fans, celebrate your culture with Hispanic Heritage Night on October 2nd, presented by Miller Lite. There's going to be Latin music and dancing, special activities for kids, an on-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. It's not a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, the official beer of our Chicago White Sox. Tickets start as low as $10, and to purchase, visit whitesox.com/NHH.
Melky has had one of those seasons. Outside of Abreu, he's hit the ball by far harder than anybody else in this ball club. Most of the time coming up empty.
Well, he's 10 points below his lifetime average coming into tonight's game, but from the All-Star break on, Melky's been hitting as well as anybody in the league. And he's found some holes. Early, he didn't find any.
No, he went for almost 2 months. It was crazy. Hitting 2 and 3 line drives a game, going 0 for 4.
I think that's why next year we're taking a look at 71 runs driven in. And he really didn't heat it up till later on. Next year could be a big year for Melky.
That pitch, good pitcher's pitch right there.
Since June 21st, Melky's been hitting .311 and driving in a whole lot of runs, especially from the right side, because he started out this year and he couldn't do much of anything as a right-hand hitter.
Trace, ground rule double. His first at bat. That fastball at 90. Eden at third. Alexei at first. Nice pick by Perez.
Perez is a pretty good catcher. He's their backup to Yan Gomes, who has had a somewhat disappointing year, largely due to injury. This is a good pick. You don't like to see catchers backhand things too often, especially to their right. But that ball was so close to him, he was able to backhand it and smother it. No chance of it getting away.
We have stranded 5 through 2.5 innings.
Ed Walsh. First of all, in 1912, then 11, then 10, and 269 strikeouts in 1908. It's certainly within range and something that he'll probably eclipse this year.
Abraham Almonte, the center fielder, who made a good play when that line shot off the bat of Melky Cabrera. This guy looks like a pretty good player. He had good plate presence in that series back at our place. Hitting at .266, 4 homers, 17 knocked in.
Came over from the Padres. The cost was left-hand pitcher Mark Zybczynski. That was on July 31st of this year. I thought Almonte in that series looked pretty good from both sides of the plate.
He looked dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's a strike. 3-1. That ball hit hard in the center field. But we got a man there.
Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. That was a blast to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Well, he looks dangerous. Yeah, that's what you want to look. When you don't see a guy you hadn't seen him before, you just want to see his plate presence and see if he's dangerous or not. He certainly is that. He showed us that back home. So here's Perez. 217. 5 homers, 17 knocked in. So there's the. He's now 2 for 6 lifetime off, Chris.
That one just barely eased by Carlos at second base. Chris has also looked pretty decent swinging the bat against this, not just with Chris Sale on the mound as he takes this one. Lines it to center, and Sanchez has a good shot at it. Just comes up short.
Okay. Oh, he booted it. Took his eye off of it. Had plenty of time. Perfect double play ball. And now 1 out, 2 on.
This ball hit right at him. Thinking about flipping it before he secured it. And it trickles away.
So here's where Chris has got to cinch it up, hunker down, and pitch over that arrow. Lindor had a little dribbler out in front of the mound. Chris tried to do too much too quick, couldn't handle it, and it went for a base hit. That's out of play. And we showed you the Ed Walsh and all the strikeouts he had in those 4 seasons. Now Chris has worked 187 2/3 coming into the night with his 250 strikeouts. In those 4 years right there, the fewest innings that Ed Walsh pitched was 368, and the most was 464.
Yeah, but in those days, you know, that wasn't all that unusual. 464 was actually probably not enough to get him a raise, but he went to the mound at least.
Well, it was according how the club did.
464.
It was according how the club did. Yeah. I don't care how many strikeouts you had, how many home runs you had. If the club didn't win, you got cut.
464. Good slider down and in, and a big strikeout of young Lindor.
So that's the 3rd strikeout for Chris. And here's a tough cookie against us, Mike Aviles. He hit into a 4-6-3 double play his first trip as he takes first pitch strike. That's off the end of the bat. And that's going to fall. That was a Kansas City special right there. And it's 1-0 Cleveland. So that will be an unearned run. Meanwhile, 1-0.
Aviles hit it not quite far enough to get to Adam Eaton, and just far enough to get over the outstretched glove of Carlos Sanchez. Right into no man's land.
That's a Kansas City special.
And for Aviles, that's just the 16th run he's driven in this year.
He made a good pitch, got a bad result, and here is Brantley. He grounded out softly to Abreu. Ah, boy. It's 2-0. 2 unearned runs. What new?
That's 82 runs batted in for Brantley. And a good play by Thompson in left field, because this ball is slicing away from him. If he doesn't get this, it's 2 runs. And probably a triple. Brantley takes it the opposite way. This ball slicing away, and Trace is able to run it down. And Ramirez scores his 2nd Indian run. Well, that's a good ball player. Michael Brantley getting better every year.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of upside. He's 28 years old, so Here's Rayburn. Hit the ball hard on the first pitch he saw, but hit it to Alexis. Starts him off with a changeup. Boy, we make a mistake, the other teams just capitalize on it. They make a mistake on us, we can't capitalize. That's the story of 2015. Slider goes around the plate. Two and one with 2 on 2 out. Three and one with Santana on deck. And that'll load him up. First walk issued by Chris.
Not Cooper coming out. He wants to make sure that Chris is thinking the same way he's thinking and how to get out Santana. After the air, the strikeout by Lindor, and then 2 hits and a walk. So Mike Everett is going out there. He wants to break up the meeting at the mound. And Don Cooper will stroll on back to the dugout. Career with the bases loaded for Santana. Pretty impressive. 356.
Well, they certainly are loaded. Struck out swinging on a fastball his first trip, as that one fouled away. It's 6-0. 6 unearned runs.
.1672 on the power numbers. Our Ford home run replay. This is a fastball down. And Santana, who came in hitting .333, we talked about him in the opening of the show. One of the guys that Chris had to worry about, and unfortunately, he hits the second grand slam of his career.
So here's Chris Johnson. Some years it's just not meant to be.
No, and this is a tough one because it should be out of the inning rather easily. It was not. And then the roof fell in.
Now, Chris Sale's got a lot of Mark Burley in him, and I'll tell you right now, sure, he's hot right now, and he feels bad, but he feels as bad for Carlos Sanchez.
There's no doubt. But what Chris is going to have to do is
get somebody out.
Get somebody out is right. Now this inning alone, it's 25 pitches, and after a couple of very good innings in the first and second, this one has been extended. 19 the first two, 25 this inning, and Chris just shaking his head.
Well, this should have been a 3-hitter inning as well.
Yep.
Here's a man who led it off with a deep fly to center field. Abraham Almonte. One and one to count. And that'll retire the side, but a crooked number goes up on that board. We're into the fourth, trailing 6-0.
On November 28th for the Sox on the Beach Apple Vacation. This 7-night all-inclusive hotel stay will be at the Iberostar Paraíso Del Mar in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's going to be a private welcome party and autograph session, food and drink, and special group activities with your White Sox hosts. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today.
Garcia, Alt, and Sanchez to face Cody Anderson. Takes low ball one.
It's a very important game, not in the grand scheme of the pennant race, but maybe in the grand scheme of the postseason going on in Detroit with Kansas City and the Tigers. The reason why it's so important is Johnny Cueto is pitching that game. Johnny Cueto has been less than overwhelming for Kansas City, and they're very concerned about him because they got him as a #1 guy to throw the first game of the playoffs. He's given up a run and 4 hits, and they're heading to the bottom of the third in Detroit.
Miguel Cabrera, Miggy got him for an RBI double. And there's ball 4 to Avi.
Now stepping in for the White Sox, third baseman Mike Oles.
So here's Olt. He struck out his first trip. Just the inside edge of the inside corner, says Mike Everett. First of 3 with these guys and first of 11 on this 10-day road trip. Split doubleheader Monday in Detroit. High pop up. Santana. One out. And that last inning right there was the poster child, a classic example of the first rule in Major League Baseball is you got to catch the ball. You just can't give the other team more outs than you're going to get, or you're going to get beat most of the time. Here's Carlos. Hit the ball hard off the glove of Michaeviles at third, and they gave him an error on that play. Could have gone either way. One and one to count. Outfield for the most part straight up, spread out, spaced about equidistant. Watch out. Tomorrow night it'll be Carlos Rodon against Carlos Carrasco. We'll have that game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Finale on Sunday afternoon, Johnny Danks against Josh Tomlin, and that game will be over WGN.
Tomlin's been throwing the ball very well for Cleveland, and that's another guy that they have as a candidate, and maybe more than just that, for the starting rotation next year.
Well, he's a good pitcher. He's a finesser. He's not going to overpower you by any means, but he knows what he's doing, and he throws strikes and changes speeds.
To the end of the day is the best way to go about it, unless you're just overwhelming.
Yeah. And that's ball 4. With a couple men on, let's get a couple back right here. That's the 4th walk issued by Cody Anderson. We have stranded 5 coming into this inning. We've already had a couple chances to do some damage and couldn't get it done. Tyler ended the 2nd inning by hitting the ball very hard to Ramirez at second base. We've got a force play. That's not a strike.
Now, Tyler, in fact, Tyler has a word with Mike Everett. You can't do too much with him because you got to get some pitches for your pitcher. So when you're a catcher, you have to
wear it.
Suggest to the umpire perhaps that was a bit out of the zone.
Yeah, you got to wear it. Five strikeouts now.
Fans, the First Merit Bank Stadium Club offers breathtaking views of U.S. Cellular Field and delicious food and beverage options for you to enjoy prior and during White Sox games. For more information, call 312-674-1000.
Light him up right here, Adam. Adam has walked and singled. One swing puts us right back in this ball game. Chopper 2 hopper. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, still trailing 6-0. Two against the Arizona Cardinals. Turn to CSN Chicago for the best game day coverage in the city with Chris Bowden and former Bears Lance Briggs, Jim Miller, and Dan Jiggets. Oh, Dan. At 11 a.m. it's Bears pregame live presented by Meyer. Then after the game, flip over to CSN Plus for locker room reaction and more on Bears postgame live presented by Nissan. It all begins this Sunday morning at 11 on CSN Chicago.
I'd like to wish my sister a happy birthday today. She's in Denver watching a Sox game on her birthday. My elderly sister, but she's doing well.
Here's Roberto Perez. 1 for 1 with single. And a run scored. They have 6 runs on 5 hits. 1 error. We have no runs on 2 hits. And a very big 1 error. 6 unearned runs. Two and two. Avi.
The hitter for the Tribe, the second baseman,
And here's Ramirez. He reached on that error back in the 3rd inning. On a perfect double play ball.
That fastball by Chris Sale to Ramirez registered at 95 on the fast pitch gun, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home or on the go.
One hopper. 2 out.
An athlete is defined by the desire to be active and continue to do the things you love. Visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for every body.
Francisco Lindor, an infield single and a strikeout. Top of the 5th, up in Canada, Blue Jays leading Boston 4-1. Marcus Stroman on the bump for the Jays.
Well, that's a huge lift if Marcus Stroman is healthy enough to take into the postseason.
Good stuff. Little right-hander, throws hard with just a terrific curveball.
Went down in spring training with a knee injury after such a promising year last year. He's got a great arm. He knows how to pitch. He's a smart pitcher. And if he is indeed healthy, what a weapon.
Ball hit hard by Lindor. Hang with him, kid. Meanwhile, we're into the 5th. We need 6 to tie. Lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Cody Anderson is a 2-pitch pitcher. If you're just tuning in, he's got a he's got a below average fastball, major league fastball, and a changeup. That's it. And he's given up no runs on 2 hits with 5 strikeouts, and he's walked 4. And that's in the center field. Almonte's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Very rarely will you see 3 straight changes in a row, but that's exactly what Jose saw. First one, second one even lower than the first, and the third one a wipeout pitch even lower than that. So 3 straight changes, 1 strikeout.
His other at bat, he grounded out to short. There's a low fastball. Two down. That little guy's really played well against us. Just 22 years old. Of course, Lindor ran everybody out of that shortstop position.
As soon as they got Lindor and realized he was coming up, it made everybody else in the Indians organization start looking for other positions. Because Lindor, assuming that he doesn't get hurt, and we have to assume that, and hope that, because he's a great talent, but he's going to be at shortstop for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody from major leagues on down to high and low A better start all the shortstops
looking for other spots.
That's foul back and not playable.
Indians still believe, and justifiably so, and this is the way you have to go about it. They believe they still have a shot. It's an outside shot, but a shot nonetheless, and so they're going to be grinding each and every day. They came in at 4 games back, hoping for a whole lot of losses from other people and a real hot streak, as Terry Francona tries to, number 1, finish above 500 for the 11th straight time, 2, get into the postseason. Let's take a look at the wild card race. The Yankees have it well in hand, 5 losses up there in pretty good shape. The Astros are sitting there in the second wild card position. The Twins a game and a half back, just a game back in the loss column. The Angels 2 games back in the loss column, 2.5 back, and the Indians 4 back.
Ball hit high and deep. Back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Number 11. We both have been sitting up here just wondering when that was going to happen. On a 2-pitch pitcher.
Yeah, eventually. And that one down in the zone. 1172 on the power numbers for Melky, who continues to hit the baseball. Our Ford home run replay. It's a fastball. And it's gone. As Melky reaches down and takes it not very far out. Just out enough.
Well, we're still not out of this ball game. We've stranded 7 coming into this inning. So we've been getting them on. We just couldn't get them in. As here's Trace. He had a double, ground rule double, and a strikeout. Of course, with that home run by Melky, the Alex Nelius family and Christine O'Reilly will hook up with White Sox charities once again. Once again, after all these years, in loving memory of Ursula. Oh, 0-2 the count.
It's only the 3rd hit given up by Anderson.
All right, but the home run by Melky. We're halfway home, trailing by 5. All right, our Chuck, thank you very much, buddy. As first pitch to Mike Avila's fouled away right side, Souvenir. Mike 1 for 2, had a Kansas City special, a little duck snort into center field off the glove of Carlos Sanchez. Boy, did that ever hurt, because that started another single, a walk, and then a grand slam home run. He gone. Slider. Four strikeouts now for Chris.
Chris still has a minimum of pitches, just 61 of them. And that slider away. Catches the outside corner at the knees, and Avila swings over the top of it.
He would have been way under had not for that error.
Yep. Indeed.
Brantley had an RBI single in the left field. RBI number 82 for Michael. Nice play by Carlos. Beautiful play. 2 down. Ball was skull.
One of the things you have to like about Brantley is that even though he hasn't had much luck with Chris, it's not because he gives any ground. He stands in there as well as any left-hander. And he hit the daylights out of that one. Nice play by Carlos at second.
Well, you're seeing more and more left-handers, left-handed hitters, I should say, standing in against tough left-handed pitching and not giving an inch. More and more. Rayburn takes a strike. 1-1. He's hit the ball very hard. First at bat to Alexi, then he walked and scored in the third. I play with some guys, as you did, left-handed hitters against Chris Sale. They'd be bailing like a son of a gun. He gone. Gas. 5 strikeouts. And we'll go to the 6th, trailing by 5. Hawks are back, so watch Captain Jonathan Taves lead the defending champs onto the ice for a preseason battle with a rival Red Wings starting Wednesday night at 6:30 on CSN Plus.
Now perhaps getting to Anderson would be a good idea. They've seen him now. It's in the 6th inning. Most everybody's seen him twice. Some of the guys have seen him 3 times and realizing that the fastball is not overwhelming. And he only has 2 pitches.
And if you're just tuning in, we're in the top of the 6th inning. And that ball hit hard. Meanwhile, knuckling on him. Almonte stays with it, makes a nice catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. But if you're just tuning in, top of the 6th inning, in a Major League Baseball game, and we're facing a guy who has not thrown 1 breaking ball yet.
No, and he's given up 3 hits. A single. That was to Eaton in the 3rd. A double leading off the 2nd to Thompson, and a home run by Melky last inning with 2 outs.
I don't ever recall seeing a Major League pitcher go 5 innings against a club and never throw 1 breaking ball.
Or attempt at least to throw one. Maybe just spin one up there, give him something to look at.
And never throw 1 breaking ball. Holtz can't get it. And then to count 1 and 2. I don't ever recall that. Seen relievers.
Oh, a lot of relievers will do that.
But not starters. Six unearned runs in the 3rd inning. Highlighted grand slam homer by Carlos Santana. Full count. Maeka struck out and popped up to first.
That one got the shoulder of Mike Everett, and that doesn't feel too good.
He tells Perez, come on, let's go. I'm okay.
That's it. Wow. Good shot.
Mike thanks him for the effort. Yeah, that hurt. Big time. So there is the 5th walk issued by Anderson. And that'll bring up Sanchez, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Should be 1 for 1. Hit the ball very hard off the glove of Aviles at 3rd. He could have made the play, sure, but hit hard enough to give him a hit.
We have seen the occasional inconsistent scoring this year.
Very much so. Yeah. Very much so. And you know, with contracts and everything else, incentives, all things combined, that is an area that baseball is going to have to tighten up. There's a shot base hit. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's put a couple on the board. Get back in this thing.
Well, this has certainly been a whole lot better as far as the approach to the baseball now, as they've gotten to the point where Mickey Callaway's coming out. That usually means the bullpen's up and going. And for Terry Francona, race or no race, he loves September. Yesterday, he used 7 pitchers in a 9-inning game against Kansas City. He started Corey Kluber, and the odd thing was Corey went a really short outing for him. And the bullpen up and going, it's Cal Crockett. And for whatever reason, I mean, Corey said he was healthy, and it worked out for him. He went only 4 innings, though, and didn't throw that many pitches, and they took him out. So after that, it was Crockett, Manship, Floyd, Adams, Soto. They have a Giovanni Soto also, and Armstrong. And now McAllister loosening up in the pen.
And that's courtesy of the baseball app, MLB app.
You get the line score right there and everything you need to know about that ball game. That 13,125 watched right here at Progressive Field.
We can go back to opening day here in Cleveland if we wanted to see who they played and what the line score was. Anyway, 1 out, 2 on. Tyler hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice and struck out. Got put in the hole by a bad call. And that was with a couple of guys on. Pretty good approach at that one. Trying to take it into right center. Meanwhile, 0-2 the count. Well, back him up. And that'll retire the side. It's still 6-1 Cleveland.
Rewind, and we'll take a look back at the third inning. This is a play should have been 2 but wasn't. Physical error is part of the game, and then things deteriorate from there. As a run scores, Aviles with a base hit, Brantley with a base hit, and unfortunately the Santana grand slam. So 6 runs, all unearned score. That's the 6-1 game, and Chris Sale still out there trying to wait for his offense to come back, get him back in this game.
And here is Santana. Carlos struck out his first trip, then the grand slam. He is now 12 for 35 lifetime against Chris. With that 1 homer, and he now has knocked in 9 against Sale. Two 2-0 the count. Leadoff walk, third walk issued by Chris. Bottom of the 5th in Detroit tied at 1 with Kansas City. Cueto against Verlander. Yanks that one foul. Game is delayed at Target Field as they host the Angels and Mike Scioscia. Molitor's Twinkies and nice halos. Halos at 74 and 72. Minnesota 75 and 71.
Raining there and heading this way.
It's coming this way. Yes, it is.
Supposed to be kind of rainy tomorrow.
That's a pretty big front moving. It's going to move through here, according to one of my radars.
The other one says it's going to miss us.
No. The one is vicious as. He gone. 1 out.
That's 6 strikeouts for Chris. Chris Sale's pitching line brought to you by American Sale. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, none earned, 3 walks, 6 Ks.
Bottom of the 6th in Toronto. 4-1 Blue Jays over Boston. Bottom of the 6th at Citi Field. Tied at 1 with the Yankees.
As you can see, very economical except for the 3rd. Not really of his own making, but 76 nonetheless.
Slider strike.
Last 3 innings, Chris seems to have regained that rhythm.
That one at 96. Abraham Almonte with the 1-2 count. Change up, down low and away. Close.
I mean, he just missed.
He had a piece of the corner. He gone. Pulled a string on him. Could not pull the trigger. 2 down.
Sends him up with a fastball in, and then a good straight change, had the whole plate. Almonte not looking for that.
Here's Roberto Perez. Takes first pitch strike. And a count 0-2. Watch out, that got him. is the 8th hitter.
And this
at 11th hitter.
This is a sharp breaking slider. No way in the world Perez can get out of the way of that. He tries, but that one fouled him, got him off the foot.
And that's the pitch that's hitting most of those 11 guys.
Yeah. Some of the guys have swung at it, and they're not in that 11.
Torrey Hunter. That was priceless.
He had 2 of them this year that swung.
Yeah. Torrey, look he gave when he got back.
That was one of the best.
Oh, boy.
That was one of the best of the year.
Yes, he did.
The appeal to well keep it had already been rung up by Mike Evans. So one strike away from ending the inning.
2 on 2 out, 1-2 the count. Here in the bottom of the 6th, 6-5-1 for them. 1-4-1 for us. All 6 of their runs, if you're just joining us, unearned. That slider yanked foul, just foul. Out there in left center. This guy's a tough little customer. Jose Ramirez. Change up. Quick release. And they get him. That'll retire the side. We're into the 7th. We need 5 to tie.
And we'll see what happens as Terry wants him to take a look. And that's the inning. Greatness. And for New Amsterdam vodka, that taste is award-winning smoothness. So whether you're with your friends at the game or watching on TV, lift a glass to your team, Chicago. New Amsterdam, it's your town. New Amsterdam's the official vodka of the Chicago White Sox. And take a look at a terrific play by Alexei. This is a tough play. He's got to get rid of it very quickly. Jose stretches out, and they get a very fast base runner to end the inning. This is a good pick on the other end.
Top of the order here in the top of the 7th. 6-1. Indians. And if you're just tuning in, Cody Anderson still has gone 6 complete without throwing one single breaking ball. Fastball slide. Check that. Fastball change. Fastball change. Adams walked, singled, and hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice. Pops it up. That's playable.
As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Here's Alexei. He's going out to left. He just missed that one. He walked, and he also has gone out to center. Takes the 91-mile-an-hour fastball strike. First of 3 here in Cleveland. First of 11 in 10 days on this trip. We'll have a split doubleheader Monday in Detroit. And 4 there, and finish it off with 4 in New York. Watch out.
He goes down, and the ref doesn't quite count him out, but he was close.
Two and one with Abreu on deck. And that changeup.
That was a good one.
Pitcher's pitch. B pitch. Six strikeouts now for Anderson.
After threading the needle on the changeup, he gets it close enough to get the call. And Alexei goes down on strikes.
After catching one high neck in, those 2 pitches right there.
They look in the next county.
Yeah. Abreu was grounded to short, struck out on a change. 3 straight he got in that at bat. He did not go.
That probably was the first breaking ball of the night.
Ball hit hard, base hit. Fastball at 90.
Now stepping to the plate for the White Sox, the designated hitter, Melky Cabrera.
So to pitch tracks, we'll show you that Perez wanted it away. Henderson made a mistake, and it cost him a base hit. And here comes Terry Francona.
Yeah, I did a heck of a job for him, especially walking 5. We stranded 7 through 4 innings. We just could not get there except for the home run by Cabrera. So he departs, and we'll be back.
Half strikeouts for 9 innings, but tonight he had it going for him. 6 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings, and here they are. He did it with a fastball. He did it with the straight change. That's all he used, and got them all. Got him looking. Got him swinging. Got him swinging at pitches out of the zone. And so with 5 walks and 6 strikeouts, he departs at 6 2/3 innings. And Zach McAllister is our Honda call to the pen on for the 55th time. 3-4 ERA, pretty good. 3.23. 76 strikeouts and 61 1/3, and he is a 1-pitch pitcher. Just a fastball. Pretty much here it is. See if you can hit it.
Both teams with 5 hits, but they have 6 runs, all unearned. We have 1, and here is the 1 run standing at the plate. Melky Cabrera, his home run. There's first pitch strike. Melky cranked out his 11th, picked up RBI number 72 back in the 5th inning. That's outside.
Originally the 3rd round draft pick of the New York Yankees in 2006. He gave up the University of Nebraska for the bright lights. Melky looking back at Mike Everett, wanting to know how that one was a strike. Perez didn't think so. He yanked it back in the zone.
Full count.
Trace Thompson in the on-deck circle.
Santana playing way back behind Abreu. There's a chopper 2 hopper. 7th inning stretch. Not good. Top of the order here in the bottom of the 7th in a 6-1 Cleveland lead. All 6 runs coming in the 3rd inning and all 6 runs unearned. Lindor had a little Kansas City special, a little soft nub out in front of the plate. That ball hit deep to right field. And it is 7-0.
That's 10 home runs for Lindor. We've got more power from the left side than the right. And eventually you could see this guy hitting 20+ home runs a year. He's only 21 years old. Our Ford home run replay. This one up and out over the plate. And Lindor goes the opposite way. He's now driven in 42. And he's hit the ball hard 2 times tonight. One, a line drive right at Alexi at short.
Aviles 1 for 3. And he had a Kansas City special. Little duck snort just off the glove of Sanchez, calling in for an RBI single. One out.
Bullpen up and going. It's Webb and Jennings.
Here's Michael Brantley. Grounded softly to first. RBI single into left. Sharp single. And he hits the ball very hard that Sanchez made a good play on to get him first. Slider strike.
That's one of the things that everybody talks about here in Cleveland when they talk about Francisco Lindor, is the fact that he seems to have a great deal of joy playing this game. When you have those kind of skills, you can understand how it would make you very happy.
Out and around that one. Carlos Rodon against Carlos Carrasco tomorrow night. Game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet Sunday afternoon in the finale. Johnny Danks against Josh Tomlin, and that game will be over WGN. In the split doubleheader on Monday in Detroit. That ball hit hard back through the middle. And that'll bring up Raver. Ryan is grounded hard to short, walked and scored, and struck out. And that split doubleheader, 12 and 7 Central Time. First game we'll have it for you right here on Comcast, and the evening game will be over WPWR. Yes, he did.
You think you can get the Bertucci boys to cater that in Detroit? Send up some chicken, some ribs, some burgers.
Bobby Bruno and Handsome Anthony.
We'll have a lot of time between games.
Yeah, that'll be a 6 Central Time, the second game. 12 and 6 Central starts. That could be trouble. It is. That'll be a hit and an arrow.
Yeah, probably hit E1. That's exactly what it is. Hit E1. Rayburn usually hits the ball hard, and Chris Sale doesn't have much of an angle on his throw and just throws it on the other side of Rayburn. No chance at all for Abreu at first base. That's first error of the year for Chris.
So here's Santana. He is 1 for 2. Chisenhall ends run. Infield in.
Here's an Xfinity high-speed action replay, and for all practical purposes, it put this one away. Coming in the third inning, the second grand slam in the career of Carlos Santana. It was the 5th and 6th unearned runs of that third inning.
Ducks on the pine, 1 out, 1-1 to count. There's a strike. Evens the count at 2. And that bounces foul. He gone. Eighth strikeout now for Chris.
That one might have just tipped the outside corner.
Tyler didn't think so.
No, he didn't.
Meanwhile, here is Chris Johnson. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He also has walked. But you go back over the season here. Certainly Quintana stands out first and foremost by far. But the guy who has had the second most bad luck on this staff has been Chris Sale.
Illustrated by just 12 wins with unbelievable stuff almost each and every time out. So Chris Sale has jumped up and tied Ed Walsh of 1910, honing in on Ed Walsh of 1908. 258 strikeouts.
There's strike, change up, but he had
a million innings.
Well, he had twice as many innings. Chris.
He did.
More than twice. And that's going foul.
Apparently those were the days when you were the rotation. Picked up 3 of those starts every 5 days.
Well, he didn't spend very much time on the DL.
No. I don't think he spent very much time on the bench.
I don't think they had a DL back in those days.
Probably pitched every other game.
That's a little bit low. So a full count. 7-1 here in the bottom of the 7th if you're just joining us. He gone. B pitch right there. Meanwhile, 9 strikeouts, and we're into the 8th.
Prizes, including a jersey autographed by the 2005 White Sox, tickets to Fan Appreciation Day on October 4th, and more. Visit whitesox.com/summersweeps. Lonnie Chisenhall came in the game to pinch run. He'll stay in the game in right field. And Anderson went 6 2/3, gave up just 1 lone run on 5 hits, walked 5, fanned 6, and he stands to be the winner in this ball game.
Well, we had our chances against him. He stranded 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. A 2-pitch pitcher, low average,
and followed up by a 1-pitch pitcher.
Fastball, but a good change. That should be a sign of big time hope for a lot of youngsters out there in high school and college who are aspiring major league pitchers who don't throw hard. You don't have to throw hard to pitch in the big leagues, but you better have a good changeup. There you got a cookie and couldn't do anything with it. Trace doubles, ground rule double, 1 hop into the seats in right field, his first at bat. He's 1 for 3.
Trace has got to just tune it up a touch and just look for 1 pitch. That's his attempt at another one. Actually, a pretty good one. Try to throw a slider. Not bad.
No, he got it in a good spot.
He did.
Little spinner at 83. Then got him upstairs at 95.
The high heat, you absolutely have to lay off it because you can't hit it up there. And Zach McAllister's father, Steve, is a Midwest cross-checker for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he's been a scout for a long time, a lot of different places. And his son has found a home in the bullpen for the Tribe.
Here's Avi. He checks it up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Last time up, hit a line shot right at Abraham Almonte, center field.
That one got Mike Everett, and that got him pretty good. He's not having a pleasant night behind the plate tonight.
Well, he's going to let Perez walk this one off a little bit.
Boom, that got him off the outside of the mask.
And here comes Tim Welke in.
They want to see if he's okay.
Said he is. He's going on the law of averages now. He's done for the night. A little spinner.
Not sure exactly what Aviles was doing. I don't think that Santana really was either.
One and two the count. Soft chopper. Got him. Good play. They have some real good range out there at short and second.
For Chicago, the hitter is number 24.
Ramirez is a shortstop, so he's got a plus. Second baseman's arm, gets rid of it quickly and gets it there in time. Avi was hustling down the line as he always does. Gets beaten by a step.
So here's Mike Olds, 0 for 2, a strikeout, a pop up, and a walk. Takes it low. Lindor, boy, he's got just a beautiful throwing motion, and he's got a gun. 1, 2, 3 in.
Weather reports, you get everything else from our Chuck, and he's live, so
anything and everything you want to know about weather, sports,
high school lights,
high school lights. stock market.
And we got a new pitcher coming in the game.
How to hit the golf ball further.
It's Daniel Webb on for the 24th time, 1-0 ERA after his last performance. Up there at 3.95. When you have limited appearances, you have one bad performance, and going to put a big hurt on that earned run average.
Lower third of their order: Almonte, Perez, and Ramirez. Abraham is going out deep to center. He also was grounded to second and struck out. So Chris goes 7 innings, gives up 7 runs, only 1 earned, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts.
Gave up the 8 hits, but the 9 big strikeouts put him into second place all by himself behind Ed Walsh of 1908.
Oh, nice pick by Abreu on a rocket down the line. Got it stuck in that webbing. Can't get it out.
That one almost went through the glove into right field. There, he's able to get it out of the glove.
It's another hang wiffle for Almonte. I'll tell you, that young man is dangerous.
From both sides of the plate, he swings it, and Jose can't even think about getting the glove out of there. Getting the ball out of there, rather. There it is. He tries to, but boy, that one almost snuck through.
Here's Roberto. He's 1 for 2. Nice little slider strike.
Could be dueling Webbs. This Ryan Webb warming up for the Indians.
And once again, a reminder: make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. Carlos Rodon against Carlos Carrasco, and we're right back here on Comcast Sports Net. That one. So the count hangs at 1-2. Checking some other scores. Toronto in the top of the 9th at home against Boston. Blue Jays lead at 6-1. Bottom of the 8th in Washington, 3-2 Marlins. Top of the 8th in Detroit, tied at 1 with Kansas City. So evidently Cueto settled in.
Yeah, this is pretty encouraging sign for Kansas City, regardless of the result of that game.
Well, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
It's pretty impressive, especially the way things have gone lately.
Another shattered bat. This one for a base hit.
Of that one laying in the infield as he guides it through the right side.
Cubs beat St. Louis 8-3. Cubs now 25 games over. Houston leading Oakland 3-2, top of the 4th. Down to the juice box. Ramirez takes it low and away. Tampa Bay leading Baltimore 8-5, top of the 8th in St. Pete. Mets leading the Yankees 4-1, bottom of the 8th at Citi Field. Seattle shutting out Texas 3-0. That's in the top of the 5th at Arlington. Houston with a chance to possibly pick up a game. And that Angel Twin game postponed. Angels coming in at 74 and 72. Paulie's Twins at 75-71. With all the problems that the Angels have had this year, for them to be over 500 is quite an accomplishment.
I think so, and they've had a lot of difficulties, injury-wise and otherwise.
Oh yeah. So there's ball 4. And here comes Lindor. He's 2 for 4. Had a little rubber off the bat. Leading off the bottom of the 1st, Chris came in, knew the speed of Lindor, tried to rush it a little bit, couldn't handle it. He beats it out for a base hit. Then he struck out with a slider. Wicked slider in the 3rd. Next at bat in the 4th, hit a line shot right to Lexi, and then he homered opposite field off Chris. Leading off last inning. Indians trying to get back to 500, coming in at 72 and 73. And Lindor once again. Here's the throw. They're going to hold him. A good thing they did. Perfect throw by Adam Eaton. Hits the cutoff man. So that'll load him up. Lindor is something.
Doesn't matter what side of the plate. More powerful these days left-handed. Better hitter right-handed, but takes it right back up the middle for hit number 3.
Well, he's got a chance to be the best shortstop the Indians have had since Omar Vizquel.
Yes, sir. And be around a lot longer than Omar was here.
Aviles. And that's in the hole. And they're going to hold it. The runner. One scores, and it's 8-1.
Aviles with his second hit and second run batted in. And so here comes Robin. And that means that Daniel Webb will depart this game. And Dan Jennings will come in. So while he strolls in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, highlights, replay previews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, the Major League.TV game of the day, and more. Download the MLB.com at Bat app on your smartphone and tablet now. And Dan Jennings comes into the ball game. Our Honda call to the pen on for the 45th time. He's 2-3, 420 earned run average. He inherits an Indian at every base.
And a pretty tough hitter. Michael Brantley, 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored in this game. Gap out there in right center. That's off the glove, and that's going to be a base hit. And it's a 9-1 game.
Third hit of the night for Brantley. All off the left-handers. He's now driven in 83. Deflected by Jennings, and no chance.
Well, it was a good thing he deflected it because it was going through.
Yeah. It would have been 2.
So here's Chisenhall making his first plate appearance. Ryan Rayburn was 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Michael Martinez comes on a pinch run. So Brantley's night is done. He's certainly done enough damage for one evening.
Bags packed. 2 in. 1 out. And a 1-1 pitch. Mets leading the Yankees now 5-1. Game in the bottom of the 8th at Citi Field. Full count. And the payoff. It's 10-1. So here's Santana with a chance for another grand slam. He hit one back in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Takes that breaking ball down and in. does beat Boston 6-1.
And so Don Cooper is coming out to have a word with Dan Jennings.
In that Toronto game, Donaldson, a couple of hits. He's hitting .302, front runner, certainly for the MVP in the American League. Let's check out what the MVP front runner in the National League is doing. Bryce Harper 1 for 2, hitting a .340. Bryce with 40 home runs. Caught. Nice play by Mike Olt.
Well, what a rocket that was off the bat of Santana. Looking fastball at 2-0. He gets the pitch he's looking for in the spot he's looking for it, and he just crushes it.
That's full extension right there.
It's quick reflexes right there.
So here's Chris Johnson. He is 0 for 3. Outfield punched. Shading him slightly to the right.
Those are good career numbers with the bases loaded. 310. The grand slams.
And there's a base hit. A couple more going to score.
Johnson doubles his Indian RBI output, giving him 4. And the inning continues to roll right along. Second time in the game the Indians have batted around.
Here's Almonte. He started this inning off with a rocket down the first baseline that Abreu made a beautiful play on. Hit so hard it stuck right in the webbing. Couldn't get it out. Well, 13-1 for them. And 1-5 and 1. Check that 2 for us. The ball and 2 strikes. Kansas City and Detroit game now in the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 1. Washington leading the Marlins 4-3, top of the 9th. Nasty Nats. Papelbon is on. He gone. But a big crooked number, a 5 spot goes up there, and we trail it huge.
Brought to you by Miller Lite, and our Miller moment is Chris Sale. His 9th strikeout, moving him into sole possession of 2nd place all time for strikeouts for a White Sox pitcher. And Chris Sale, through 7 innings, fan 9, this the 9th. And now he's got Ed Walsh staring him right in the face to be the all-time leader. And Ryan Webb comes in the ball game. Now for the 36th time, he's 1-0 ERA, 3.33. And he's in to wrap it up with a huge lead.
And if you just tuning in, did not get the line on Chris Sale, 7 innings, 7 runs, only 1 was earned. 8 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. But right here, Carlos Sanchez will lead it off. He's 1 for 2. Takes first pitch strike.
Gary Sands comes in the game to play first base. Michael Martinez stays in the game in left field.
Down ball, takes a nice little Cantini bounce. 1 out. Carlos Rodon against Carlos Carrasco tomorrow night. And we'll have it for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Here's Tyler. First pitch strike, Tyler. 0 for 3 tonight. Last time up, hit the ball very hard. Unfortunately, right to Jose Ramirez at second base for a 4-6-3 double play. Our only run, if you're just joining us, home run by Melky Cabrera. His 11th. He now has 72 RBIs.
Webb was acquired by the Indians after he was outrighted by the Los Angeles Dodgers, who had acquired him from Baltimore 4 days earlier and then let him go.
That Houston-Oakland game, Astros leading 3-2. Bottom of the 5th down at Minute Maid. After 5 in Texas, 3-1 Seattle.
That one had good movement, bearing in right on the hands. Flowers.
And Detroit has taken a 2-1 lead, bottom of the 8th over Kansas City. That game at Comerica Park. There's a chopper to Hopper. So we're down to our last out. And here's Adam Eaton, a walk, a single. He's 1 for 3. A little comebacker in this ball game is over. Not a whole bunch to this one, Steve.
No, unfortunately, Chris Sale deserved a better fate. Didn't get it, and Carlos Rodon tomorrow. We'll look forward to that.
All right, let's check out our player of the game. It is the big right-hander, Cody Anderson, going 6 2/3, giving up just the 1 run. The home run by Melky Cabrera, our player of the game. So far, Steve Stone, for our director Jim Angio, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, also our very fine technical manager Mark Harper, and for Mike Dixonstein, for Dave Hammond, for Justin Quaid, for Dave Ross, and cameraman, and for Doc Velasco. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Coming up next, Subaru postgame live with Chuck and Bill.